Okay, I think it's all good. It always says, if it's good, it just says your stream has been copied to your stream URL has been copied to your desk clipboard. So let's try going there. See what happens. Oh yeah, that's the actual view of it. Please stand by. I'm gonna stop it. Actually, I'm gonna close it. So I won't be using up resources on my system. Now I'm on. Oh, that's the last one. I don't think it'll show this one. No, it just shows the data on the last one. So there's not no quick way to get. Close that page too. Go back to this one where I'm looking at my completed ones and hit live now. I thought there was a quicker way to do this, but there should be. First thing you want to make sure is, are you live? Or maybe that's what I need to do. You know, to see if you're on a live controller for the wrong video, then it just shows you the stats when it's done. So I don't guess there's a quicker way. So I'm on 360p. I've been calling it 320p 100 over and over, I think. That's because that's what my most of my webcams would do. You know, that was their kind of their, well, they do 240, 320, and 640 or something like that. This one, I'm on my dual webcams. My bigger picture here that's on my laptop, that'll do the full size of the laptop screen, which is a little more than 720p actually. It's kind of in between that and 1080. And the little picture here, that one will do 640. But I'm broadcasting my whole thing in 360 because that is the only size that seems to be able to send up without the stream lagging behind and going bad. So it's, you know, I mean, it's usable for just some webcam stuff and all that, but when you want to do a desktop recording, I mean, I've been looking back at them, I know every bit of that's blurry, it can't be read, so, you know, it's no use in it that way. You can do pretty good ones on this. I've done plenty of them on this laptop and other computers, you know. You can do pretty good desktop videos straight from the desktop itself. So, and you know, save it, edit it, upload it, all that stuff. It'd be nice if you could do live. There's a lot of possibilities if that would work. I clicked on my other, kind of what they call it. Should show it here in a minute. You can use it to add all kinds of things. Effects, for instance. Look at that. And you can add. There's a bunch of little different effects in there. Kind of your standard old, just fun stuff. That's so that Manicam app is what that is. That's a video desktop video I was talking about. Pretty fun app. Got some cool effects and stuff. So, you know, I guess that's, unless there's something I'm not understanding here, or some limitations of the program of the free version of the program, that could be. Haven't seen anything like that. But there could be some limitations that don't let it, there's a reason it won't stream. I just don't see, you should be able to do 720p with no problem. With 4 megabit upload speed, that should be fine. Because back when they had one that was I used to watch, you know, 720p videos on 3 gigabit download, so I don't see why I couldn't upload them. That's what I think. What am I thinking here? So, and here lately, with I've mentioned before, my switch was giving trouble, and I didn't realize it. And you know, I kept having trouble with video buffering. Then it got really bad. So I did a whole bunch of tests yesterday. It's been hours and hours making sure, because I got 1, 2, 3 routers, and I had a switch, and that switch was between. It was the first router, my Linksys is my first one, talking to, facing the internet. Then I had this switch, and then the switch went to another router, and then one of my other routers went back to the Linksys as well. So to get everything all around the house connected, computers, most of it's all right in here with me, but there's other computers, a little Raspberry Pi TV watching with XBMC on it for the TV I made, and so anyway, figured out I was down to 1 to 3 megabit download speeds, and I thought, what the heck? I thought it was my ISP, because that has happened on and off with them, and turned out it was just the opposite. It was that switch, and I did a bunch of testing before calling and arguing with them. But that switch was just not working right, and so I took it out of the loop, and getting 60 to 65 megabits downloads, and then but my upload was always the same. It's still right around what it's supposed to be, 4 megabits, a little more, a little less. So all the things that a lot of us would like to do on the internet won't really work, looks like, unless the ISPs start giving us at least 10 megabit uploads. They used to be common 5 years ago. There's a wireless service around here that did 10 up and 10 down. That was the fastest speed you could get, was 10 down. And they did 10 up and 10 down. They had like 1 and 2 with my charter, my ISP. The most now they're only giving you 4. So even though you're getting 60 down, that doesn't mean you can do all that much, especially with the uploads. But see, your downloads, there's data that goes back up to talk back to the server while you're downloading. So even with that 60 megabit, you can sit there, if you're watching a 1080p video, it still may cache on you, buffer. So the cache will be behind, and it'll buffer on you. So of course it's a lot better now since I switched all that around. But got my rid of my switch that was giving trouble. So anyway, I just wanted to see how long this thing would go. 6 minutes. I think it went 10 minutes before it went bad the last several times. But I think I did finally figure out that see, it's still good. No other messages but the initial one saying it's good. I did finally figure out I can do the 360p pretty well as long as I want to, and it still work. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I changed my audio settings again in this Windows setup here. I wish there was I run Linux, and that's what I use all day, every day. But so I'm having to use Windows here to use these apps. This XSplit, it's pretty good. I like it. I actually like it better than you have like up to 4. It's got up to 12 scenes you could set, but it'll let you do 4 on the free version. And I like the app better. I actually found it by accident trying to find help for Wirecast. Wirecast, it says it authenticates, but then first day I tried to use it, it kept saying it authenticated, then it said it had an error authenticated. Now today it doesn't show any errors, but it still doesn't send up a stream. So tired of messing with it. I know people use it, so I know it will work, but I don't know what the big deal, why it's so hard to use. But anyway, there's some forums, some Google forums actually, that I found looking for help and going for Wirecast, and found that people were saying, I just started using this XSplit app, so I just finally, after several hours, I found, I'm gonna go look at that, and it just took me a couple hours to get it up and going, watching some videos and stuff. So anyway, my audio in Windows 7 here, recording devices. Right click on the little speaker icon. Of course I won't change anything, but there's the one that I'm using. I believe I can look at the properties. Okay, look at the properties and go to levels, and it had kind of set itself, or I left it that way, at 100 on the microphone, 100%, and it was a 30 dB plus 30 dB microphone boost, and that was great as far as, you know, picking that sound up and getting a good, nice, strong signal. But it was also distorting, and it was cramming. You know, it was hitting. Digital is a lot harder to do than analog. Analog, you could always just kind of get it bouncing around up towards the top, and even if it went over 100 dB, then you wouldn't usually distort unless you screamed or something. But when you're doing a digital input like this, digital recording, then if it's anywhere near 100 dB, it's going to distort. We'll see how low that signal is. I imagine you'll have to turn this video, the audio, up pretty high. But I meant to quite done there. But I tried. I also tried. I had this, left it on plus 30 dB, and that's when you start getting noise. Get that buzzing noise when you boost the signal. You always get it, even when you're using an analog mixer. I used to mix sample bands for about 12 years, so I've done it a lot, and I messed with computers ever since. Computer audio with computers since they invented MP3s. Since I started with waves, you know, Windows wave files back in '98. Anyway, I tried leaving this on 30, the boost on 30 where it was already, and brought this down to 85% or 85 dB or whatever that represents. Like I said, it represents dB. Well, I guess that really represents percent. This actually says dB on it, decibels. But so I'm trying to find the best. Can't remember since the last time I used it, because when I do things, I generally always do them in Linux. So this should be okay. Cancel so I don't jack that part up. So I'm still good at 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes. My throat's tired of me talking now. I'm starting to get more hoarse. So that's just the apps I use now. I don't like hunting for stuff, so things that I use even fairly often I put on the desktop. Anyway, that Wirecast is a pretty cool. I spent 6 or 8 hours messing with it, and it's a cool app. But all the cool stuff, I don't want to open it because it'll mess up my. See, everything I've got on this system is except for these free open source applications, which is what I'm usually making my screencasts about, instead of about you know, shareware, trialware, or whatever. This is better than trialware. Either one of these are. You know, it is free to use. It's limited. What do they call it? Anyway, it's limited software, free limited use kind of thing. I'm spoiled with open source. You don't have to worry about all that. You found an app. Since 2005, I've been running Linux and using open source applications, so I'm pretty spoiled. But anyway, you find an app you like and it works good, you use it, and the whole thing, whatever it's supposed to do, it does it. This is, I'm not going to turn on the public view. I just I can't sit still. I can't sit still whenever I'm usually doing something, you know, when I'm on the computer. So I think that's long enough to pretty well say that works. I'm going to hit each deal one more time. I'm going to go back to that one with the video. See what it does. See if it'll play right. That's one of the main things. This sure takes a long time to switch over. There it goes. There's a bunch of little different effects in there. Kind of your standard old, just fun stuff. That's what I discovered first when I when I first got this application, I played with those a little bit, and you can let me see, I'm going to switch over to the has a bunch of different transitions. I've got it on random, so I'm not quite sure what we'll get every time. Oh, that's stuck in. Well, that was great. Good switch, huh? Switched into me coughing. So anyway, I'll look back at that and see if it's lagging like it has been in the higher resolutions. This may not be actually be useful to try to play a video in the live stream if it's gonna lag. So that's pretty well enough testing, I think. But yeah, now that I've got my laptop cam over there, what I'm trying to say, I have my application window on my laptop screen, and then my desktop. When I'm on the desktop, I can look straight at my big monitor, and I can read it better. So it's pretty good. That's a good way to do this application. Then when you do switch to desktop, you just go right to desktop. You don't have your XSplit window sitting there in the foreground with the video feedback. It gets aggravating after a while. It's kind of cool looking for a minute or two, but then it gets aggravating. So I like that. The switching is slow. You should say, okay, I'm switching, and then let you see how slow it is. But it's really slow, and it's set on. You can set how long it's supposed to take to switch, but it's much quicker than what it's doing. I have to look at it again to make sure what I got it. The default is pretty quick, I think. So anyway, there we go. I think that's it. Figure out it nose is itching. Okay, so I figured out what it can and can't do with it. Even with 4 megabit uploads, a little more than that, generally 4.5 speeds, and 60 to 65 download speeds, you still can't do 720p. So again, it doesn't make sense to me. It should work, I think. All I can do is 360p though. Okay, it's done. Signing out. Goodbye.